Adamantis, welcome to 69 Face of Rock. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Doing outstanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing
Thanks
this
for having
for
us
us.
here.
Actually, welcome back. Please introduce yourself again.
Well, my name is Evgeny Gromovoy. I'm the drummer and the founder of the band.
I am Jeff Stark, the singer of the band.
Okay, and this is your second appearance with 69 Face of Rock. You have a new album out, Reforged, right? It came out back in March. How did you get ready for that record?
How do you get ready for that record?
Yeah.
Well, it took us quite a bit of time to write and polish all the ideas that we had. So really, we had a bit of a lapse between the last full-length release and this album. So we really tried to distill as much as we could all the ideas that we had floating around. It was really a carefully dedicated process, but I think the result was very good, pretty much at the level that we expected it to be.
If you were to put it under a microscope, what does the songwriting process look like for Adamantis?
You want to write?
A lot of times, I think it starts with an idea. Somebody might come up with a cool riff or some sort of idea, and then we all just collaborate on it and make it into the best song we can do during that process. So it's a very collaborative effort within the band.
Yeah, many times in this album, for example, we had ideas that were incubated by guitarist Javier Estrada,
Yes.
who, by the way, went back to Spain and he's living in Barcelona now. And he would come up with some ideas, some melodic structures, but then we will compose the song really in the group, in the practice spot with Jeff and all the other guys to really deconstruct many times those ideas. It's a very collective process.
On the average, how long does it take for the song to mature?
Well, some songs have taken us maybe even a year from idea to final results. Some songs at the end of the day could actually be go faster, right? But some of the cuts we have there, the first idea may have been, written a year or even more before we actually were happy with what was, going to be recorded.
Where was the album produced, and actually where was it recorded and who produced it?
So we recorded it Kennedy Studios with the drums and vocals, and then the guitars were all done individually, I believe, in the studio, in our practice studio.
Right. We actually, so we really recorded in our our home bases. Bass was also recorded in our house, and then we sent it to Henrik Wood in Sweden for masterings.
We did a fantastic job. Couldn't be more pleased.
Let's talk about the songs. I'll name a song, then you tell me what the song is about or anything else about you want to say. So the album opens up with Right for Ruin. Right?
That's basically Lord of the Rings reference coming off the Riders of Rohan. Basically, so this song was highly influenced by the Riders of Rohan and the good fight. So.
Steelclad.
Well, Steelclad was a very appropriate moment to write a song about fighting and resistance. We are united and we feel that our community is being under attack at many levels, and that is one of our, I guess, first political songs that we wanted to put out as a call to resistance against oppression and fascism.
Next one is an instrumental, right? Funeral for a King.
That was just Javier's lead idea. He had an idea floating around, and we didn't feel like making a song out of it. We decided that would be a nice introduction, and we use it actually as an introduction for our shows. When we played Hell's Heroes and some of the shows, we used that very song as our intro for the set, and then we eventually felt it will actually float very nicely in the album in that position.
The title cut, Reforged, what makes it so special?
Well, I can take that one, right?
Yeah,
so that's that song again goes back to the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien lore. It really speaks about the history of the sword that was prevalent in the movie Lord of the Rings. It used to be Narsil in the Silmarillion, and then turned into Anduril, the sword that Aragorn bears. And the whole story is literally the story about that sword. That's the song. And we also wanted to make some sort of a homage to one of the biggest influences, at least for me, which is Blind Guardian. So I tried to kind of write as fast as a song as we can and play as many, Blind Guardian kind of licks. It turns out feeling a little bit more Halloween than Blind Guardian in some ways, much more like, as flat, but still, that was the idea. Try to kind of a homage to the classics of German power metal in the song.
The Sailor on the Seas of Faith. Probably my favorite title.
I think you know this a little more.
Well, I wrote the lyrics there, right, again. So the whole song actually was originated by Javier Estrada. Yeah, we did quite a bit of variations though. The song was quite different in his mind initially. But the song, lyrically is about Elric and, not only Elric, it's about the Eternal Champion as it is, and focuses on kind of the whole series of characters that actually are kind of core to the Moorcock universe.
Time of Contempt.
So that was basically came off, taking over the history of time and all the great empires that grew big, and eventually they all crumble down and fall. And it's, a big song kind of going through the history of time and visualistic. As you go out to Europe or so, you see a lot of the old ruins from those times and crumbled empires. And so the song gets on.
That's how things go.
Yes.
Gates of Miklagard.
Yeah, that was another one that we had a long time ago with Javier had very ideas for that song. At some point I said, Javi, we need to make this as epic as we can. And it has to be the epicness song, right? And so Javi came up with these very nice leads that you feel in the middle of the song, and it feels like Conan. The Conan the Barbarian soundtrack. And lyrically, again, the lyrics I wrote is about, the classical history about the trip for, along the Volga by the Vikings. They used to call Varyaks in that area towards the south, and Miklagard was really Constantinople. So it's essentially tells the story of a trip of these Varangias who would essentially be suddenly witnessing what used to be the biggest city at that time in the medieval ages, and they are pretty much there to pledge allegiance to serve in the Varangian Guard. Open thy gates, Miklagard the Great. That's what they say. And
finally, the closing song, Fall of Asterius.
Yeah, so that was, I love a lot of Greek tragedy stories. This one specifically is about the Minotaur. Mm-hmm. So it pays homage to the old Greek, the Minotaur and the labyrinth, the whole history of it, the whole writing, kind of our depiction of it a little bit, and just retelling the tale into song.
Listening to you talking about these songs makes me think that these are not only songs, but a history lesson, perhaps.
Often, yeah.
Literature,
and some of them dig rather deep.
That's true. We try to, get inspiration from many sources. I guess one of the curious thing about us is that we are a diverse band, right? We have people from the U.S. but also from Europe, and I guess that's what actually makes it a little bit interesting. So we can draw from many sources.
It is no coincidence that the cover shows a sword, right?
That's right.
Now, can you explain your fascination with that medieval weapon?
Well, I mean, the sword has, first of all, we are a heavy metal band, right? And as you know, the sword has been a staple in heavy metal throughout.
No argument there.
And to me, it's a way to, to still defend what we believe is, what quote unquote true metal, right? In a way, and what is true metal for me? It's not just. To me, it's like a difference between being an artist and entertainer. To me, true metal is the community of fans who are willing to drive 1,000 miles to see a band, who are willing to, support them all the way through. Is that brotherhood essentially we have in metal? That's what, to me, is true metal. And I think the sword actually, reflects that imagery in all of our minds very clearly. And this sword in particular, it's really a history also about how something can, articulate a whole story just based on the blade, the power of the blade, right? It used to be, in the medieval times, the blades used to be symbols of power, symbols of knowledge, symbols of, identity. Famous warriors used to have their own swords. They would put them names. They would treat the sword with respect, and also even some folk will go even so far as to forge steel out of their ancestors, because carbon also translates into steel. And so I believe that the sword is kind of a unifying symbol that connects many elements of this true heavy metal community, but also speaks to how we treat things with honor, or with respect. And we think we are kind of paying respect to heavy metal in this sense. So that's why I believe, the sword for us is not just a cliche, but it's really something deeper.
It totally makes sense. I mean, you gave me the whole story here. How is the album being received so far?
It's going really well. most all the reviews coming in have been really solid. We're very pleased with the overall, result from it, and the fans coming out, talking about it, buying it all.
I mean, we released the album in Greece when we were playing up the Hammers Festival, and the reception to the songs were fantastic.
Yes.
The label No Remorse Record has been supporting the release wholeheartedly. We had a number of fans writing us saying that this was much better than the previous album.
Yes.
And some people think that Powerful and Realm was the best, but many people think that this one is a better album. We really grew in many levels, and now we are supporting the album on tour. Today we are in Madison with Blades of Steel, and you guys we have been kind of touring part of the US already for now, and then we'll continue our tour. And every time we play these songs, people go crazy. It's unbelievable the power that we can transmit.
Energy is, you feel
They
that
didn't
energy
know it,
reaction.
right.
They don't know, and then all of a sudden
have
they're sitting there trying to sing it, whether they know it or not, they're still singing it.
Right.
And it's amazing to see that.
If you're able to spot that from the stage, you
Yes.
know you're on the right track.
Right. It's
Yes.
like we see that how they get motivated throughout the set. They raise their hands. They don't know the song, but they're singing.
They're feeling it.
And so that's the weird thing when you have people who don't know the song, but they're already willing to sing it. So I think it's working very well at this point.
Fantastic,
It's a really good album.
fantastic. Not too long ago, you put on another edition of the Stormbringer Festival. How did it turn out for you?
Well, that was a very special fest for me. First of all, it was again my fascination with swords and true metal. You can see, it was the third time I'm doing this festival. It was the last time though, and I waited to make it like as special as possible for the bands. And again, as I told you, my idea of true metal is community. So I wanted to bring as many up-and-coming bands that are seeking opportunity to be on a bigger stage, to interact, to network, and that's what we actually did. We brought, a number of well-established bands like Twisted Tower Dire, but we also brought like some bands who have not been playing for a while, like Argus, and also many bands that were actually really coming up with good ideas, and it was magical. Bob was there, Bob from Legions of Metal was there, Randy from this festival was there. I had a bunch of friends who were playing, and it was small, but it was literally like a heavy metal camp with all the friends and family you could get. So to me, that was the best thing I could have ever done. So that's it.
Fantastic. I mean, I've seen some posts, and it seems like a very special community, people having fun, people enjoying, and that's what it's all about.
It's about community, you're
Yeah.
right. It's literally what I say all the time. It's not about selling, 2,000 albums or having 2 million spins on YouTube. I don't care about that. You can get 500 and still be very honest with you, and that's what I go for, And that's exactly what I think we need to keep thinking about. There's so much, fake news and inundation with content and distraction nowadays. I reivindicate going back to the true feelings, to the pure feelings, feeling of community, the feeling of solidarity, unity, and that's what I think we need to keep working on and reivindicating that our own safe space, despite the adversity that's all around.
Finally, at this point, what does the future hold for Adamantis?
Obviously, we're still doing the rest of our tour from here, so we're heading out to Cleveland and then over to Erie, Pennsylvania. We are already working on next year from some shows, and so obviously be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
We're even writing for the next album. Whenever that will be, who knows? But the process has already started. So
right, I guess one of the changes we have in the band.
Yes.
So we have three festivals potentially in next year in the US, maybe some other gigs dates around. But the main thing that has happened is that Javier Estrada, who was heavily contributed to Reforged, has moved with his family to Barcelona, as I said earlier, and so we were lucky now to hire, quote unquote, because Connor McBrien. He will kill me. Connor, he's new. McBride.
Irish. Yeah, good Irish name.
I don't know. Sorry. It's okay.
Yeah,
So Connor,
good guy.
Connor comes with a lot of credentials as a musician. He is actually, music is his life. He works as a musician, and he brings many good ideas to the band. So we are already working with him. We actually on tour. We had the time to do kind of a mini retreat on a lake. And we wrote a song together. That was my first sense of how this will work, and it's really working super good. So I'm really confident that we will be working on a new album, and the new album will be arguably much better than what we have done so far. And so I think the future for Adamantis is bright.
Yes.
Superb. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.